So first off, apologies for being a few minutes late on the call here. I've stepped straight out of a meeting with Minister George Freeman and the Paul Nurse, so apologies for being a couple of minutes late. I hope, if I may, I will crack straight into the slides. And Hannah, I'm looking for you to advance them. I imagine you're seeing one that you may have seen for some time with my name, Steve Bates, the CEO of the BIA. Moving forward, Hannah, the bioconvention veteran.
Yep.
I hope what we can do today is take you through the basics of bio, what's new this year, and we've also got Diana DeJoy, John Lowndes and Harriet on the line to take you through some of this. Next slide. BIO is the world's largest biotech conference, and you can see some of the details on this slide. I always think of it as being not only an exhibition, but actually an amazing partnering opportunity, as well as some interesting perspectives from thought leaders with thousands of expert talks and panels. So you can't do everything, but I think most people go for partnering, but it is huge compared to anything else that we do in the sector. Moving on, if I can talk about transport, those of you flying into San Francisco, I've always found that the quickest way in is to go by BART, which is the train, and rare for America to go by train, go on the subway up to downtown San Francisco works quite well, and it is very straightforward compared to getting a cab, which can be difficult. Moving forward to what's different this year, those of you who are experts, BIO as a conference has moved around in the week, so that sometimes it sort of started on a Monday, sometimes it started on a Tuesday. This year, what's happening is that partnering is open from Monday lunchtime through to Thursday, but the exhibition itself is open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's a sort of slightly strange piece on Monday afternoon where partnering is open, but the conference won't be open. But the conference is open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I thought it was worth just mentioning that at this stage. The UK stand, the next slide you can see is well positioned for meetings and partnering. We're near the Canadians this year and very close to the entrance, so that will help you orientate in the hall. And the partnering is in a slightly different place in the business forum near the things here. I hope that John Lowndes, Deputy Head of UKTI Life Sciences Sector UK, is on the line. And John, you'll be able to talk a little bit about the UK Pavilion.
Yeah, thanks very much, Steve, and apologies, Hannah, for being late getting on, which probably wasn't an ideal start. Anyway, hopefully you can see the slide, because personally I can't, but we have Innovation is Great branded stand this year, which is similar in size to what we've had certainly for the last 2 or 3 years, if you're familiar with what we do in San Diego, Boston, etc. We've also got a second slide showing the kind of plan view. So we've got 6 pods on there, and the companies who are exhibiting on there are listed on the next slide. So we've got Alderley Park, we've got Clinigen, MedCity from London, Aptuit, London and Partners, and the Medicines Evaluation Unit. So they all have a presence on the stand in the form of a pod. We've also got some companies who have signed up to do presentations and to appear in our brochure. But for those of you who'd like to make use of the stand but haven't actually signed up in advance, do not worry, because there's still an opportunity to have meetings on the stand. Basically, if you just turn up on the first morning and say you'd like to book meeting tables either for that day or the following day, then we can make that happen, because we do have plenty of meeting tables, as was the case last year. They can be booked for 30-minute slots or for up to an hour. And we've got a email address where you can actually register for those. On the actual stand itself, we've also got a reception taking place on the Tuesday evening, Tuesday the 7th at 5 o'clock, and that is being sponsored by Northern Powerhouse Group. So we've got people coming out from BIO now, from the Northern Health Science Alliance, and some of the Northern companies as well. So they're sponsoring that reception. Some of you will be aware that we've normally had a dinner on the Tuesday evening. That is still the case this year. It's not being widely publicised because it is a very small dinner this year. we haven't got a joint reception with it, so it is very much invite only, and it is for a smaller number than has been the case in previous years. There will also be a presentation by the Northern Powerhouse Group taking place on the Wednesday afternoon, basically promoting the north of England as a region for investment. And that is not taking place on the stand, but that's in room West 3010, and is taking place at 13:15, so lunchtime, 1:15.
John, I think we've got some slides coming up about some of the events that we're aware of from a UK perspective, so we'll touch on some of those going forward. So
that's great, yeah. And the other point I really just want to cover is we've got quite a large group coming out from the UK Trade and Investment. So from London, there's myself and my boss, David Shepherd, plus two of our specialists, who covers China, and John Moles, whose main expertise is on India. Then we've also got a number of officers coming in from the US Post, plus China, India, Japan, and Korea. So they will all be available for meetings during the week. So if you have particular interests in US, China, Japan, Korea, and India, then do please let us know, and we can fix up a meeting with our colleagues. So I've just rattled through those, but if you have any questions, I don't know if you take those now or at the end, Steve.
Let's keep going, and we'll do them at the end. Thank you very much, John, and we look forward to seeing you on the stand. A quick point here from Matt Halsworth at the National Institute for Health Research. They'll be available on the stand, and they're going to be talking about the infrastructure of the NIHR also. So if that's of use, Matt will be around and will be joining the UK delegation to highlight the excellence that we have from the UK in NIHR terms as well. With no further ado, I'm going to hand over to Harriet Beer, who is not only the Chief Executive of One Nucleus, but also has the Business Ambassador role for UKTI in Life Sciences, and can take us through some of the messaging that has worked well with regards to placing the UK in a global context. Harriet, I hope you're on the line and able to talk.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. I hope everybody can hear me okay. So as a business ambassador and big supporter of UKTI, I have telephone directory-sized briefings about the UK proposition for life sciences and healthcare. I've extracted 5 or 6 here to keep it very brief for you, but if anybody online needs to have more information about a certain subsector of our wonderful sector, or any other information about the UK, do feel free to email me at harriet@onenucleus.com. So the first slide is a very brief overview. I'm conscious many of you will know this information in your sleep already, but the purpose of the slides really is just to give you a flavour of some messages you may like to use when you're giving your own company presentations, as a flavour of where you live and operate from as a foundation and a base. So in terms of the government, we all know that we have a life sciences minister. He's the only minister, as far as we know, for life sciences in the world, George Freeman, MP, who Steve's obviously just been meeting to talk about various things. Unfortunately, he can't go to BIO this year, but I think his appointment shows that the government has a very strong support for the sector in the UK. It's one of the government's top 5 priority sectors, and it should be. You know, it's one of the most productive sectors in the world, as we all know, with a turnover of over 50 billion. Nearly 180,000 people employed. Interestingly, and perhaps importantly, the government's recently refreshed and relaunched its Life Sciences Growth and Opportunities database, which is a public-facing database which showcases the UK offer. So John Lowndes, I'm sure, will have that at the press of a button to be able to send you the Strengths and Opportunities report, which is a refresh of the UK position and has a wealth of statistics in it. If I can move on to the next slide, there's some key facts here. I think the only one I'll pull out, I don't plan to read through all of it, but the particular one I'll pull out is the point about AstraZeneca. Again, I'm sure many of you know that Pascal Soriot, when he became the chief exec of AZ back at the end of 2012, made a fairly rapid decision to base the global headquarters for AstraZeneca in the UK, in Cambridge, just down the road from where we are here at One Nucleus. And I guess the important point here is that whilst I know there was some, very legitimate concerns about moving staff from the Northwest, I think the really important point for the UK is that actually AstraZeneca could have chosen anywhere in the world to locate their global headquarters, and they chose to locate it in the UK, which is a fantastic offer for us as a community. And in talking with him, he's made it very clear to me that the reason for that decision fundamentally and as a top priority was the world-class science, or is the world-class science. So moving on to the next slide, I think one of the things about the UK is that we have expertise and excellence in all the really key foundation areas. So, that really strong industrial R&D, manufacturing, supply chain. The NHS, love it or hate it, it is, a fantastic opportunity, serving nearly 1 million patients a day. There's obviously globally renowned research charities, world-leading universities. It's a really compelling offer when you look at it all in the round together. Moving on to the next slide, I wouldn't be doing my business ambassador job properly if I wasn't to do a quick shout out for all parts of the UK, not just the Golden Triangle, not just the Northern Powerhouse. I spent time in all of the 4 different sub-markets of the UK in the business ambassador role, which is a role to promote and support the UK sector, and been blown away by some of the things I've seen in different parts of the UK, all with different strengths and opportunities. So there's some flavours there of what each has to offer. Moving on to the next slide, when I'm talking overseas about the UK, so one of the areas that's really important to potential foreign direct investors is what the landscape looks like in the UK. I think there's a very broad knowledge already that there's a fantastic science base, that the UK is deeply entrepreneurial, but actually what foreign direct investors want to know is, well, what's in it for me, as well as the connections and the networks. Actually, how's that going to look for me financially? And so it's really important to look at the protection of R&D tax credits, obviously the patent box. We have the 5th largest world economy. Corporation tax is around 20%. It's the lowest rate in the G7 and the G20. These are all really important points, and potentially really important points for your collaborators and partners that you'll be meeting at BIO, just to make them aware of. And that's me done. Thank you very much, Steve, for the opportunity to have a quick word.
Harriet, thank you. That's great. So moving forward, what I'm going to do now is just quickly run through the week from a UK perspective and give you some structure to it. So One Nucleus, Tony Jones will be in San Francisco, have a number of events in the margins of BIO, and I think it's right to point out that there'll be a big UK contingent at the dinner hosted by Amgen at the Grand Ballroom on Sunday evening. I think, Harriet, you're closed for registration on that one, but I think there'll be many UK participants there on the Sunday evening, making sure that they've got over their jet lag. But you do have on the Monday morning a seminar collaborating with Business Sweden and Bristows, again in the Hilton San Francisco in the financial district, a seminar there, which has always been popular in previous years, and I'm sure will be again. So if people are interested in attending, there'll be a good UK discussion there with our colleagues from Sweden and others, and I'd encourage people to register with Tony and One Nucleus. Moving on, also on Monday, directly after the One Nucleus event, the London Stock Exchange are doing something at the San Francisco Vault, just around the corner from the One Nucleus event on raising long-term growth capital in London. If you want to pop along there, that is an event that's a fringe event that's open and will focus on the benefits of raising money in London, and I know they're keen to get some support from the UK community. Keep going. John mentioned this, as is always traditional, on the Tuesday late afternoon there are receptions on most of the different country stands, and the UK is no exception. This year, sponsored by Life Sciences in the Northern Powerhouse, there'll be a hospitality reception and drinks on the UKTI Pavilion. If you congregate and want to meet the UK community, that's a great place to be, and we'll certainly be there. And I'd encourage you to mark that one in your diary if you have a chance. John's mentioned this. There is a small dinner on the Tuesday evening with UKTI and AstraZeneca. As John made clear, it's a smaller event this year and is invite only, but some people will be going to that. And also on the Wednesday morning, I'm aware that BIO now and the Life Sciences in the Northern Powerhouse are doing an event with the media at the KPMG offices, again targeted at a small group and largely at the media. On the Wednesday evening at BIO, of course, there is the big reception. This year is sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Shire. That usually takes the form of a big outdoor reception with plenty going on. It's open to all with convention access and partnering passes, and we will make sure that there is a corner where the UK community will gather. Myself and Tony will make sure that so basically, if you feel that you're coming, we will make sure we're in a certain space at a certain time and share where we're planning to be once we've checked it out at the UKTI Northern Powerhouse reception on the Tuesday. So if you're thinking of coming along, that's a good one to be at, and we'll provide an anchor point for the UK community who's going to that reception. A couple of points, if I may, on some people who are speaking this year. As Harriet's mentioned, the Minister isn't going this year, so there's a number of excellent colleagues from our community who are speaking, but perhaps no single headlining figure from the UK this year. And if I can, going through to the next slide, I've gone through the agenda of all the thousands of talks that are around, and this is my speedy summary in a couple of slides of some things that might be noteworthy from your perspective. David Topolsky is talking on Tuesday afternoon. Go back one, please, Hannah. About his engagement with China. There's a discussion about antibiotics on Wednesday morning, where the discussion around the O'Neill review, I think, will happen. John mentioned Hakeem talking about the opportunities for the north of the UK under the UK United Kingdom Global Innovation Hub discussion. There's also one from Northern Ireland directly after it. Slightly unusual to have the UK talk mainly about the north and then a Northern Ireland one. I'm not aware that there's a Scotland one this year, nor a Wales one, so they will be available in Room West 3010. And John Haram of F-Star has a good opportunity to talk on Wednesday afternoon around antibody technologies. So if you're looking to support fellow BIA members, John's got a good spot there in Room West 3008. Going forward, a couple of other things that might be worth marking your card for. If you're a fan of Hollywood celebrity, Will Smith is talking on the Tuesday morning in a keynote presentation. I think he's in a film which looks at the challenge of brain injury. On Tuesday, there's some good discussions around stimulating innovation in vaccines, which I know that GSK are involved in, and synthetic biology discussion for those from the synthetic biology community on Tuesday lunchtime. And on Wednesday, I think there's an interesting discussion on new business model in rare diseases, which I think will look at some of the things that we've spent much time working on about the EU environment for orphan medicines. Go forward. I hope that Diana is able to join us from BIO in the States. I realise it's the crack of dawn for you, Diana, and I appreciate you very much making the early start to join us from Europe today. Diana is responsible for relations with the communities from overseas who come to BIO, and I'm delighted that you're going to see, Diana, a sizable and vocal community from the UK once again at this year's BIO. So, Diana, perhaps I can hand over to you for your perspective.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, everyone. Yes, it's bright and early here at 6:30, and I have a baby, a 3-year-old, so hopefully she doesn't wake up and doesn't start calling me. So, good morning, everyone. I am, as Steve mentioned, the liaison for all international delegations attending to BIO. So we're very happy to host a big UK delegation again this year. Your delegation is one of the biggest attending BIO. Actually, consistently has been number 2 after Canada, and it's hard to beat Canada. They're so close. So I just want to give you a few highlights, and Steve has done such a great job. Steve, I think we will hire you in the future to do these presentations, because you just you've pretty much covered it all. But as Steve has mentioned, we are doing Monday through Thursday this year, so it's 3.5 days. I mean, we've tried different things, and we try to accommodate attendees from various countries and listen to the feedback, so forth. So partnering aspects has been growing over the years, so we try to allow people to schedule more partnering meetings. So we're opening business forum on Monday this year at 1 p.m. So 3.5 days of partnering. San Francisco is interesting. If you've been there, you know Moscone Convention Center is spread out between 3 buildings. Because of the size of our business forum, we were not to fit it in one building. So what we're doing is we're splitting it up. It will be in Moscone South and Moscone West. And further in my slides, you will see the overview of the convention center. So yes, the partnering meetings will be split up, but don't be afraid. We're trying to schedule them in kind of in the same area as much as possible to reduce walks between the buildings. So Exhibit Hall opens on Tuesday morning. So on Monday you will partner, and there's also some limited programming, and then on Tuesday UK Pavilion will open. And here's, let me see, here's a slide with kind of an overview of activities every day. So Monday, if this is your first time to BIO, then you're suggested to attend the orientation in the afternoon. And then we have some programming that starts in the afternoon. Actually, I want to call out one seminar that's not on the slide. If you are interested in investing in the United States or want to know about just more information on how to access the market, we have this seminar organized by the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's called Select USA. So if it's of interest, you can just Google it in my bio.org, and just look up all the information on the speakers. Then at night, we're kicking things off with a welcome reception. It will be held at a fun museum. It's called the Exploratorium. So if you have convention access or convention access plus partnering, that's included in your registration, or if you are an exhibitor, then we have reception packages for exhibitors. Tuesday, business forum partnering opens bright and early at 7 in the morning. Then something different we're doing this year is we've done keynotes over lunch in previous several years, and as far as as long as I've been at BIO, they've been over lunch. But this year we're trying a new format, morning keynotes. So they will be on Tuesday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. So there will be no programming scheduled parallel to the keynotes. And then right after it, exhibition opens. And of course, a full day of education. We have something around 18 education tracks for all interests. And let's see, and Tuesday evening is we call it open night, which countries can do their own receptions. Everything begins with the exhibitor hospitality receptions, and as I've heard, the UK Pavilion will be hosting one. And if you haven't been to BIO, then I should mention the exhibitor hospitality receptions is a really fun event where many exhibitors are hosting their own mini parties inside their pavilions and booths, and you can just stop from one place, go from one place to another and have a beverage. Then Wednesday, very similar schedule to Tuesday, full day of partnering, and then another keynote at 9. Sessions, and in the evening we have another major reception. It will be at the City Hall, beautiful building, not as beautiful as city halls in Europe, but still pretty. So again, it's open to convention access and convention access plus partnering, and is included in the reception package to exhibitors. And then Thursday is actually a full day, and tracks. And then in the evening, we have, not evening, but late afternoon, we have the concluding super session at Scientific American super session is at 2, and then following it is the international reception. It's right outside of the room. It's the concluding event of the convention, and it's open to all registration types. So welcome exhibitors. Please attend if you can step away from your pavilion. Okay. And so this is a busy map. It gives you an overview. The green buildings, they're Moscone North and South. UK Pavilion is in Moscone North, I believe, and then the Business Forum is in the South and West. West is in orange. North and South are connected with underground tunnel, so you can just cross the street. This is a busy street, Howard Street. You can cross it either upstairs or downstairs, and then it's a short walk to Moscone West. Exhibit hall is split up between West and South and North. Actually, all 3 buildings will have exhibitions, and then, as I mentioned, Business Forum partnering is in South and West. And so as I understand, the majority of the UK delegates partner. I think we have something, almost 300 people from the UK that are in the partnering system. And so that you know that the partnering aspect of the convention is very popular and has been growing every year. And the slide in front of you is actually a little bit outdated. We think we will hit 30,000 partnering meetings during the days of the convention this year. If you are interested in education tracks, here are the tracks that we have this year. I think it's 18. Emerging Opportunities in Global Markets track, I will call out. It's our quote-unquote international track. It's open to all registration types. So if you're an exhibitor, you can visit sessions in this track. And our keynotes this year, like I said earlier, there will be in the morning. So on Tuesday, we have the actor, producer, musician, and everything else on Will Smith. And you'll probably think, why Will Smith? No, he will not be doing comedy on stage. He's actually, if you've seen his recent movie, Concussion, he was playing a doctor, and the doctor is Dr. Amalu. He's also joining Will Smith on stage. So basically the movie is about this Dr. Amalu who discovered this ongoing problem with American football players suffering from concussion and just brain damage. So I personally love the movie. I'm looking forward to hearing both of them speak. And Jim Greenwood, our CEO, will be interviewing them. And then on Wednesday, we have political panel. So it's very U.S. focused, but if you are following U.S. elections, then it's basically just kind of talking about who will be the next U.S. president. And I think this is actually, yep, this concludes my presentation, and I don't know if there will be Q&A at the end, but I have my Shigato, sorry to put you on the spot, colleague Shigato Das, who is in charge of partnering on the phone in the listening mode. So he will, he's available if you have any partnering questions. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. That's perfect. I'm going to get through the questions. So I think we've already covered that, please talk up the UK side message if you're going. We've got a great environment. And if you do have questions about Europe, there's some stuff on our website about how you might answer questions about the EU referendum. Next slide. Keeping up to date with what's going on, hashtag BIA 2016. If you use that, we'll be monitoring that. We'll retweet stuff that you're doing. I think we're nearly there. Just so that you're aware that other events, once you're back from, the theatre we're looking forward, particularly pointing directly to the UK Bioscience Forum and also booking on October 20th. We're no further advice. We take questions.
Sorry, just to clarify there, Steve, we've lost you a bit towards the end. If anyone has got any questions that they would like to ask, so please let us know. Do we have any questions? Anyone out there?
If not, I suggest we thank everybody for participating and look forward to seeing you in San Francisco. Many thanks, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.